In a shocking announcement, the Fox News channel says that primetime host Tucker Carlson is leaving the network. In a statement, Fox News thanked Carlson and said his last show was Friday, April 21st. And joining me now is Mo Kelly, host of Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640. Always great to have you on the show. Mo, how are you?
Doing well. It's an exciting day, to say the least.
Yeah, there's a whole lot to get to. That's why we're glad to have you here, Mo. We're going to start with the departure there of Tucker Carlson, which comes less than a week after the settlement, the defamation lawsuit from Dominion Voting Systems, which had said the network was claiming false claims about the 2020 election. Tucker Carlson, one of the names in there, one of the anchors who may have had to testify, but obviously that was avoided. How big of a role was this? I mean, obviously, again, less than a week, and here we are with this firing or this, this deal to let him go.
There are a lot of variables in this equation. We can't forget that there's his former producer, Abby Grossberg, who filed a federal lawsuit against Tucker Carlson and Fox executives alleging a sexually hostile work environment. And so we don't know what that discovery in that future trial would be. So there are a lot of things which could be contributing to this moment. We can't even, that's not even presupposing what may happen in the Smartmatic lawsuit, which is still in the future. So there are a lot of things which are leading to this moment. I wouldn't say it's one thing. I'm quite sure it's a culmination of a lot of things.
Well, let's talk about they're moving forward. They say they're going to have a rotating cast of anchors that will fill that slot until they figure out what they're going to do. But really the question I have for you is, where do they go from here? Obviously, we just talked about the settlement with Dominion Voting and some of the allegations that were out there, the way they were presenting the news. Where do they go? Is it business as usual? Is there maybe a change and a shift in the way that they conduct themselves?
Well, clearly it's not business as usual, because let's not forget also Dan Bongino was let go recently. So there is a shuffling which is happening right now. I don't know if that changes the overall tone, but I do know that they want to diminish their likely risk going forward. And also, let's be students of history. There was a time in which Bill O'Reilly was getting ready to exit, and they asked, what is Fox going to do? Are they going to change? Are they going to reshuffle? And then we got Tucker Carlson. So just because someone leaves, it doesn't mean that someone will not fill that void. Everyone is replaceable in this business, every single person.
Well, thanks a lot, Mo. You didn't have to say that right there when you and I are on here. No.
It's true, though.
That is true. You're right. Let's stay there for a minute with Tucker Carlson. Really is not the only high-profile news anchor. It only took a matter of moments before we found out today that CNN announced they're letting go of Don Lemon after 17 years. So what do you make of the timing of this announcement coming right off the heels of the Tucker Carlson news?
I would say this was more expected than Tucker Carlson. There were things which were in the media, things that were in the news as far as giving us an indication in terms of CNN possibly being disenchanted with Don Lemon's alleged behavior, and also ratings, uncertainty. So this was less surprising to me. I think it was more surprising to Don Lemon, who seemingly thought that he was above the fray and above the possibility of being fired, and was more upset seemingly at not being told in person as opposed to being told by his agent.
Yeah, for those what Mo's referencing there was some Twitter going on back and forths between Don Lemon and CNN, him saying that they didn't tell him in person, went to his agent, he was upset, them saying we did try to reach out to you, you ignored a meeting. So again, that's between them. But let me ask you this, he was suspended, of course. We had not too long ago, he was talking about merely ageism and kind of sexism when it came to women in their primes. He apologized for it later. Social media, I feel like I ask you this all the time, the influence that it can have with outrage, right? If you're CNN, if you're Fox or whomever it may be, and you see your mentions are being lit up by these things, what type of role do they play in their actions? Or is it just folks saying, hey, that was wrong, we're going to suspend you because it was the wrong that you said and it was the right thing for us to do?
I think people in social media know the formula. It's about being loud, about being heard, and also, if necessary, targeting advertisers. We've seen many boycotts going back to Tucker Carlson. And in this post-Me Too environment, where I would say humbly that CNN helped propagate as far as the movement, then people are going to be much more sensitive to CNN anchors arguably running afoul than other people. So social media does play a role. I think it has crystallized how we are intolerant to certain behavior. And again, nobody is above being replaced.
Nobody's above being replaced, but it's also interesting, too, just when you talk about, doing what we do for a living, folks are watching and they're waiting. They're waiting to get those Twitter fingers going to say they agree or don't agree with something you may have said. So big day in news, that is for sure, and newsmakers as well. Mo Kelly, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. It's always great having you on.
Thank you, my friend.